All right, to bring it home, my final problematic fave is
Gabe.
I
didn't know it was your fave.
Today, we're talking our top 5 most problematic faves in this all problematic fave episode. Will your fave come out unscathed? No surprise who my first choice is, Kanye West, but not Kanye because I've already dragged him enough, but the media outlets who covered obviously the TMZ thing and then the MAGA hat and then him saying slavery was a choice. They covered him in a way that we did, we dragged him, we scolded him and all that. But then y'all went on that free press trip to Wyoming and act like it was the best time of your life. So my problematic fave are the media outlets that first dragged him and then went on that trip. What are your thoughts?
I think, what about if you were going on the press trip in order to know what you were going to further drag?
That is fair, but I'm
not defending going. For the record. Also, as a white woman, I'm not defending anything. I'm just saying, did we see anything that was I went to the listening party and this is why it was awful or something like that?
I haven't seen any of that, honestly.
Why was it in Wyoming?
Exactly. Because he's trying to just be different and come out here. And it was also, from my understanding, a very chic, lovely place, I'm sure. But I just feel that was a chance for us to, as a media industry, to take a stance, if we felt that way about Kanye, to just be no, we're not coming on this lavish lap of luxury so you can coerce us. I really think they went to join a cult. I'm not gonna lie. But, I think that was a time when we could have stood up to or spoke truth to power in that way.
And not giving him even more of a platform.
Yeah.
It all falls down.
Not with the pun today, okay? Gabe,
not today, not for Kanye.
You're the 6th problematic fave that we're going to drag. Vera, do you have a problematic fave?
Yes, my problematic fave is pop star Kim Petras. When I heard them, I was these are really great, dance hits. They kind of reminded me a little bit of 80s. I was really into it. And then I was who's helping her make this music? And it's Dr. Luke.
And explain why Dr. Luke is not even a fave, just problematic, period, for people at home that don't know.
Yeah, so Dr. Luke is the producer who Kesha had accused of raping her. And we actually extensively covered that entire story. Kim has made several statements. For example, she had an interview, she had a Q&A with Interview. As I know him, he's been really great and supportive to me, and I've been learning a lot from him. He's a really nice person, and I wasn't there when that whole thing went down. But from my experience, he's a great guy, and I've been having a good time working with him. Yeah. And then, she had another interview in April with NME, and in that interview, she tried to clear things up, and she said, I would like my fans to know that I wouldn't work with someone I believe to be an abuser of women. Again, she didn't say Kesha's name. Why don't you say, I would never work with someone who I believe raped Kesha?
Right.
Say it.
Gabe, your problematic fave?
So my problematic fave is actually Disney princesses, but in a fun way. So Wreck-It Ralph 2 is coming out later this year, and the trailer dropped this week. And there's this really funny part where Vanellope, one of the main characters, meets some of the other Disney princesses, and they don't believe that she's a Disney princess at first. They're like, have you been cursed? Have you been enslaved? She's like, no, no. And then Rapunzel goes, do people assume all your problems got solved because a big strong man showed up? And she's like, yeah, why do people keep on believing that? And it's funny seeing all these princesses, Cinderella's in the room, Snow White's in the room, point out that some of their storylines are a little bit archaic, and it's still totally fine to watch these old movies and love them, but it's fun being able to point out that we don't need that kind of narrative anymore, and that protagonists that are female can save themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's kind of fun that they're just coming for themselves, a little shady about themselves.
Shade, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you can't shade yourself, then who can you shade?
Exactly.
All right, Wembley, what about you?
I absolutely love Samantha Bee. I really do. I think she's amazing at what she does. But recently, she called Ivanka Trump a feckless C-word. I won't say it, even though I really do think you can reclaim that word to be something else. Samantha Bee called Ivanka Trump this in light of an image that Ivanka Trump posted on Twitter with her and her son. However, this all happened in light of everything that's also been going on with ICE and children being stripped from their own families. And my problem isn't with the word that she called her. It's with how this word has made everyone redirect their energy to Samantha Bee and everything going on with the word she chose and not the actual issue at hand. Because that's what we really should be talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then she apologizes. Like, just because you're a feminist doesn't mean you can't critique or say, I thought it was funny, say terrible things about other women. I think that's what I agree on that being a problematic fave.
I think it's interesting because she did apologize, but so many other celebrities and comedians like stood by her. And I get it, she's the one getting the direct backlash, and so like we don't know what the inner workings are. But it was at least nice to see that there were some other prominent like women comedians who were also like singing up for her word choice.
Also, I'm sorry, there are so many men, like musicians, who in their lyrics like call women bitch. And why aren't we calling them out individually and dragging them like, if you're gonna drag Samantha Bee for saying that word, and I agree, it is really distracting from the actually important thing we should be talking about, which is why I was like, girl, why'd you have to say that? Because now we're all talking about this. But it's like, if we're gonna drag her, like, all right, let's drag every single dude who's using derogatory words against women.
Would it have caused much of a like conversation if it was a different word, though?
I think if she said anything terrible, the media would have done what they can to divert the attention from the real issue, I think, unfortunately.
But I mean, Trump used a very similar word, and he's president, so.
And there's that on that.
That's the tea on that.
All right, to bring it home, my final problematic fave is
Gabe.
I didn't know it was your fave.
All right, so to bring it all home, my problematic fave is Shannon Dungey. I think that what she did as being the first female African-American president of ABC is like a huge, huge feat. We're praising her for canceling Roseanne, which was like, yeah, she said something inappropriate and you should have that privilege of having your own show stripped away. But you're also the same woman who greenlit the reboot in the first place. You could have greenlit the work of other women, other people of color that really do deserve the space to have their stories told, and not a reboot of Roseanne, which, like, I watched before, but we didn't need it. And her politics have been very clear from when the show was on until now with social media. And so to greenlight that show, knowing the kind of person that she is and the stance she takes politically, I'm not going to give you kudos for canceling the same thing you put on, you know?
She was never worth being brought back to begin with.
So, sorry, Channing. You're an icon. You will go down in history.
Don't apologize.
I'm problematic now. All right, guys. Be sure to tell us who your problematic faves are, and we might read them on the show. We'll see you next week. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye.